All right, so we need to move files from our computer to our web server so that people can access our website. And we're going to do this with a program called an FTP client. FTP stands for File Transfer Protocol, and FTP clients are just really simple little programs that let us move files between computers. In this video, all I'm going to cover is how to set up an FTP client, and another video will look at how to move files. So I'm going to log in to Reclaim, and this process is exactly the same if you're on a different web host. I'm then going to go to my control panel. So in this case, it's the little wrench icon. And then I'm going to click on FTP accounts. If you need to search, you can do that here. And so an FTP account is just a username and a password to control who can access, who can put files on my server. There should be one already set up for you using your default username, and I'm going to click to configure FTP client. So we're going to do this manually. FTP clients are really simple programs. They all work almost exactly the same. You can use any free one that you can find available. I'll give you some recommendations. For this one, I'm on a Mac. I'm going to be using CyberDuck. But what's important is this information. So I have a username, I have a server, and I shouldn't need a port, okay? So once I'm here, I am going to open my FTP client. And then I am going to create a bookmark. And I want to create a bookmark because I only want to do this process once. I never want to have to mess with this again. So again, it's going to be different depending on what application you're using. I could create a bookmark here with the plus sign. I could go bookmark, new bookmark. I'm going to do that. So we're going to tell it what kind of connection we want. And if possible, we're going to use SFTP, which is just a more secure version of FTP. Okay, it's asking what server. So I'm going to tell it what server, and I'm going to copy and paste all of this because I don't want to make any mistakes. So I'm going to tell it what server. I'm going to let the port remain as the default port because generally that's correct. Username, I'm going to bring in my username. And I am going to leave everything else the same, okay? Once I've created my bookmark, I'm going to double click to open it and be prompted for my password. I'm going to pause and copy that really quick. Okay, so I'm going to paste that in, and this is just your default Reclaim password that goes with your username. Now I'm going to make sure that I have add to keychain selected because I want my computer to save this, and I'm now going to log in. If your login works, you're going to see something that looks like this. It looks like a Finder window, and we're good. If I disconnect and say tomorrow I need to transfer files again, because I created that bookmark, all I have to do is double click here. My password is already saved, and I never have to do this process again, okay? So it'll vary a little bit depending on what FTP program you're using, but those are the basics and should get you in regardless.